Well, hello everybody. This is the Gary Neville Podcast from Goodison Park as the dark night sky glares over this wonderful old arena for what was almost certainly now the penultimate Goodison derby, and Everton, Gary, won it. So, where does that lead Liverpool? What did you think of Liverpool tonight? Where was the game won and lost?
I mean, it was a night that we talk about at Goodison Park. I mean, I first came to this stadium 30 years ago, and I've seen this stadium at its best. I once got sent off here, and Paul Scholes did as well late on in the game, and we lost, and the atmosphere was incredible, and it was a night game, and we had a good record here, but when you lost here, the atmosphere was special. And this gantry is the only one left in the league that shakes when this crowd behind us jump and go crazy. And the fact that we're not going to be in this ground witnessing these types of atmosphere is quite sad. I mean, that's what I felt towards the last part of the game, this idea, this great old ground that obviously needs modernising. They need to go to their new ground. We know how it works, but this is one of the last great grounds in the Premier League. Been around such a long time, played here so many times, and it's been at its absolute best tonight. And I didn't expect it, Peter. I didn't expect it all day. I just thought Liverpool, you saw that team sheet that Liverpool had put on, I even thought this morning, would Sean Dyche not pay less attention, he can't do, it's a Merseyside derby, but what do you think? I've got a victory against Forest. Brentford are coming Saturday. Try and sort of maybe leave 2 or 3 out and say that they're a bit tight or they're a bit, just not quite there, and I needed to give them a bit more rest. But no, what we've seen tonight was a ferocious Everton, a throwback. I said at one point in the first 10 minutes, it was like 1986. And Liverpool didn't cope. For the first half an hour, it was a good old-fashioned beat them up. And I faced this in the sort of, players who played in the 70s and 80s probably faced it even more. But in the 90s when I started playing, you went to grounds like Goodison Park, to Selhurst Park, to play Wimbledon, to play Stoke. You had to win the battle. We were under no illusions. We weren't going out there to play football in the first 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Now, the pitches weren't as good, and the game's changed dramatically, but this was a throwback where you had to go out there. And the two players I highlighted before the game were Tarkowski and Konate, because I thought that if this game became physical, Konate would have to deal with it, and Tarkowski would be dominant, and he would be winning the ball in both boxes. Every set piece that Liverpool gave away, they gave away too many set pieces, but every first contact in the box was won by Tarkowski and Branthwaite and Calvert-Lewin, and you cannot have that. The goal that Calvert-Lewin scores in the second half, Virgil van Dijk is getting messed around by Godfrey. That's the sort of thing, get off me, you know what I mean? I almost swat him away like a fly. Virgil van Dijk, don't get caught up in a block. And I must apologise to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because I called him Daniel Calvert-Lewin on the point where I offered him the man of the match, which to be fair is a blatant error of magnificent proportions. But I feel on a night like tonight I can laugh at it. But, I loved that game. I said at one point in the game, I love watching the best teams in the league play football. But I hope we never lose the identity of certain teams in the league being direct and up and at them, because I played at Manchester United where we played some scintillating football and some great combination play. But I tell you what, the idea of playing it into your strikers early and getting support up there and putting crosses in the box and building pressure and getting the crowd up and having a shot on goal and winning a header and a tackle, getting the atmosphere and keeping the crowd involved, that's what this ground is. It's what English football is. And we saw tonight a real gritty performance from Everton. Lots of good things, good defensive work. We saw the defensive record on the screen, the 4th best in the league, 2nd best clean sheets. And we saw a good amount of that, but we also saw some really good attacking play. Didn't have much possession, but when they did have the possession, they were effective and they made it count.
And I regret asking you first about Liverpool, and you're quite right to answer about Everton.
Sorry, yeah.
No, you are, because it was Everton's night, and they were terrific. Everything you say about the stadium is so true. I think we'll all shed a tear the last day we walk out of here. But of course, there is a Liverpool story too.
There is.
Were they subpar tonight? And I'll ask the same question again. I mean, where are they now? How close is that to terminal?
Look, in terms of the season, it's going to be very difficult for them to win the league. It's not over because things can happen. We just talked about it. Brighton could somehow beat Manchester City tomorrow night and Arsenal could lose in the North London derby, and all of a sudden we'd be thinking Liverpool are back in it. But I think they'll go into that dressing room tonight, and I think it'll be a sullen atmosphere. I think it'll be down, and they'll know that it's probably gone. Probably gone is where I would be at. I can't see them winning the title from here. It would be difficult for them anyway, but from here, no. In my mind, you almost had to be perfect, I think, if you were Liverpool and Arsenal. And I think losing tonight's a real problem for them. And in terms of their performance, there were parts of the first half at Fulham, and they won at the weekend comfortably, but there were parts of the first half at Fulham that I didn't like on Saturday in terms... When I say I like Liverpool, I don't like Liverpool, but I like Liverpool's style when they play quickly and the high tempo, and there's a real fizz in the passing. And they're just playing for me a little slowly from the back through into midfield, a little more sort of, if you like, a little more predictable. And I like it when they play electric. I know they've changed over the years under Jurgen Klopp, and that first Jurgen Klopp period was all sort of fast and furious and at times a bit erratic, but I'd rather them go back to that. So for me tonight, the passing was a little bit slow at the back. It was sloppy. They gave the ball away. They gave free kicks away. They missed big chances. The Nunez one, look, I mean, he's still a striker that's developing, but he cost a lot of money. You know, we watched Nicholas Jackson last night, and that young man has been criticised heavily in the last 4 days because of what's happened and the chances that he's missed. But Darwin Núñez is missing as big, if not bigger, chances, and with a bigger price tag. And that one in the first half, I don't really ever go at players for missing chances. I've never felt that, actually, to be fair, because of the way I played football and the position I played in, worthy of being able to do so. But I think if you spoke to any striker, if that was a striker in my team that had missed, I'd be fuming. That is a really bad miss. You know, it was as simple as putting the ball in the back of the net should be for a striker at this level. Just put it into the far corner, hit across it, you know, side foot it if you have to. I mean, Jordan Pickford almost looked to have over-covered on his near post and left such a gap. And we were right behind it, weren't we, here? That goal's right behind. And oh my God, the goal's just gaping. It's there. And yet he has that, he snatches, he's not got the confidence, the belief. He hasn't built in his mind that what is a Darwin Núñez finish. You know, and I always think the best strikers, you know what they're going to do or the best goal scorers, you know what they're going to do when they get into a certain position. You know, Mo Salah, his teammate, we know Mo Salah cuts his left foot. He sets it out into that far corner, and he was below par tonight as well. And then Diaz as well. Diaz is electric. I would hate to play against him. But the next few years of success with Liverpool will come down to whether the Gakpos of this world and the Núñezes and the Diazes can step up and become rough diamonds into the sort of, if you like, the real deal and the polished, sort of smooth finish. That's a big question mark, and it needs to be answered in the next couple of years. And they're going to have another coach that's going to try and deliver that. But Liverpool still could have done well in that game tonight, but they missed chances. But overall, Everton deserved to win. And there was an element of this game where you felt that Liverpool were out-muscled. I won't say out-fought, because I think Liverpool teams, you know, they work hard, but they were out-muscled by Everton in the big moments in both boxes. I watched every League Two game that Salford have played, apart from 2 or 3, for 4 or 5 years, and every National League game and non-league game for like 8 to 10 years, and it's about both boxes. Very, very different than maybe the Premier League, where you see a lot of the play sort of, if you like, developing in the middle of the pitch, and you see a lot of possession, but you've got to win in both boxes still. And Liverpool lost the game tonight in both boxes, which is where you lose the game, but physically they lost the game in both boxes. And that was surprising. I was really surprised that Konate, who I thought was the right pick alongside Van Dijk, they just got pushed around and nudged and ruffled, and I didn't expect that. I just expected them to be really powerful and dominant in those areas.
And they now, in my next 2 or 3 years, next 2 or 3 days, they played late here and lost. They've got to peel themselves up off the floor, and they're at West Ham first thing Saturday. That's not much fun, is it? Or is it?
No, well, look, I mean, it'll be a different game, but I think there's a template here, if you're West Ham, of how to go about the game on Saturday. Let's make sure the tempo's quick, keep the crowd involved. But yeah, I agree with you. 12:30 on a Saturday ordinarily after a defeat on a Wednesday night is tough because you've got to get yourselves right physically, which is normal for these types of players because they play Champions League and then early at weekends. But mentally, I think just in the last few weeks, the FA Cup's gone, Europe's gone, and there might be that feeling in the back of their minds tonight that the league's now gone. And that's tough to recover from. These are players who've won a league, they've won trophies, they've won Champions Leagues, quite a few of them, and the manager sets such high standards. And this is not the swan song. This is not the ending that everyone imagined in Liverpool. So, yeah, there'll be a disappointment, but they'll have to pick themselves up. And they've got a manager, I have to say, he's so experienced. He's been round the block. There's no panic, I think, from him. He's obviously leaving, but, he does his job so professionally that he'll get them right for Saturday. And they'll still, I think, probably win that game. And that might apply a bit of pressure to City and to Arsenal ahead of them playing on Sunday.
Arsenal, on the other hand, how good last night?
Very good. I mean, excellent, in fact. I mean, they were outstanding in that first 25 minutes against Aston Villa when we were there a couple of weeks ago, weren't they? Some of the football, and Ødegaard is mesmerising at the moment. I think he's become the best in that position in terms of just the way in which he plays. And I was really impressed with Chelsea against Manchester City on Saturday in that FA Cup semi-final. I thought they were really good. Like, lots to sort of hang your hat on there and build on. And then Mauricio Pochettino, I think he came out with, he couldn't have said it any better. He said, when we're bad, we're really bad. But Arsenal were really good. And they won well and they played in a dominant fashion against a really poor and understrength Chelsea team. But they did their job. And Arsenal's big moment, one of the big moments, but the big moment of the season is this one on Sunday. I mean, I'm going to be there at the North London derby. It's a game I've loved over this. Probably my favourite game, actually, that I've commentated on for Sky in my 11 years. It seems to always give us something, and I've enjoyed it a lot. And this one's got a lot on it at the weekend, a lot on it. And Arsenal go to that amazing stadium, and they've got to go and play. And I think I was there a few years ago when there was a battle, I think, for the Champions League, and I think might be getting, there was a battle for the Champions League, and Tottenham did them over, and Arsenal didn't handle it. It's a very different Arsenal that's going to go there on Sunday, very robust and resilient Arsenal. But this will be a test, just like Liverpool have found that Everton tonight was just a little bit too much for them on the night. For all the experience they have, they just got caught out, surprised, shocked by what they found. Arsenal cannot be shocked on Sunday. It's going to be potentially almost like a bloodbath in the first 15, 20 minutes. The Tottenham fans don't want Arsenal to win the league. I've been in London so much.
Just like here.
Yeah, I've just been in London so much in the last few weeks, and I go in the black cabs all the time. And if you bump into a Tottenham fan, they'll say, "Who do you think will win the league?" And I'll go, sorry, I hope Arsenal probably win it because, City and Liverpool, and they'll go, "I hope not." All right, okay, you're a Tottenham fan, you know what I mean? It's like that type of feeling exists. So, Tottenham will want him to be in their role, not just for stopping Arsenal winning the league, but just for pride, North London derby, getting as many points as they can, trying to push Aston Villa for that 4th place. So, yeah, it's a big game on Sunday, and Arsenal are going to have to... That was a big lesson for Arsenal tonight. If Arsenal were watching, which I suspect they were, they should look at that game and think, right, okay, I mean, it's not quite the same. Tottenham are a different football team than Everton, but the elements of making sure we're ready, making sure we don't get caught out, making sure that away from home you respect the opposition and the crowd and what you could be up against if they get on top of you. The principles of playing away, Arsenal can't forget that just because they're a better football team and they're in a better moment.
And just finally, to complete the three, a word of sort of preview on Manchester City's trip to Brighton tomorrow?
I expect them to win. And I think we think that probably that was a big moment getting back, into the FA Cup final on Saturday. I think if Chelsea to beat Manchester City on Saturday, that would have just bumped them a bit and made them think, oh, hang on a minute, we're doubting ourselves. But I think that was a big one to get through that. And I expect that they'll just recovered from that sort of Real Madrid going out of Europe. It was a monumental game, and that happens. You go out of Europe sometimes, but it still just gives you a dig in the ribs, and then you've got to recover and get up. And that's what City had to do against Chelsea, and they did. And I suspect they've had a few days now, probably Sunday off, maybe Monday just back in and doing a bit of gentle work, and then Tuesday, right, okay, we're in an FA Cup final. We can win a double. Yeah. And then they see Liverpool drop points tonight, so they may feel that one of our contenders is almost dropped away or dropping away. So I expect them to win, but what we want is a title race. Everyone wants a title race, and we want it to go to the wire, and I want it to go to that sort of last week of the season where Tottenham play Manchester City on that Tuesday evening where we'll be there, and you want to make sure that City have to go there and win. So that's what we want, just from a spectacle point of view. We don't want it to end with 2-3 games to go and it sort of peter out. But I expect City to win and do their job.
Sure. And so it goes on. Fantastic tonight. Fantastic night tonight, Gary, wasn't it? Brilliant. Well done, Everton.
And the man of the match is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Sorry, Dominic. Embarrassing. Thank you.
Thank you.